My wife talks in her sleep. It's never coherent, just fragments of grocery lists, half arguments, nothing. But last night was different. I woke up around 2 a.m. because I couldn't feel her breathing next to me. She always faces the wall, always. But tonight she was facing me, her eyes closed, completely still. I leaned in closer to check if she was breathing. That's when she whispered very clearly, "Stop checking. He'll see you." I froze. Her eyes were still shut. I told myself it was the sleep talking again. So I lay back down. After a few minutes, her breathing started again. Slow and normal. I decided to stay awake. Then, at 3:15, I felt the mattress shift. Not from her though, from the foot of the bed. Like someone had pressed their weight down carefully. I didn't move. I didn't look. I told myself the house was just settling. Then I felt something begin to crawl. Slowly, deliberately, up the blankets between us. Not on top of it, but underneath. My wife inhaled sharply while still asleep, and whispered, "He doesn't like it when you notice." Then the crawling stopped, right between us, close enough that I could feel the warmth under the blanket. I stopped breathing. I couldn't breathe. I wanted to grab her, to run. But something about the way she said it made me understand. If I reacted, it would know I knew. So I laid there till morning. At sunrise, everything was normal. No impressions on the mattress. No signs of anything. My wife stretched, yawned, and rolled towards me. She smiled. "Why are you staring at me like that?" I didn't answer, because for the first time in 8 years, she was facing the wrong wall.
The first time John Paul Morgan killed me was an accident. We were having a stupid argument. I can't even remember what it was about. And then he pushed me down the stairs. I tried to reach for the railing unsuccessfully, and the last thing I can remember is a look of horror on John Paul's face. Then I flipped over and landed head first, bending my neck almost 180 degrees around, killing me instantly. I woke up some time later in the trunk of John Paul's Grand Am next to a shovel, a box of lavender-scented garbage bags, and a hacksaw. I tried to call out, "JP," but my vocal cords were fried. That'll happen when your head nearly gets ripped off. Instead, I just started kicking the ceiling of the trunk. John Paul must have heard me because he slammed on the brakes, sending me and everything else in the trunk flying into backseats. By the time I untangled my hair from his hacksaw, JP was standing over the open trunk, the shadow of him blocking out the light of the full moon. Every night at exactly 3:12 a.m. Eli woke up. He didn't know why. He just did. And every night, he heard it, scratching. Not at the door. Not at the window. Under the bed. The first night, he blamed the house. The second night, he checked. Nothing there. By the fourth, the scratching had a pattern. 3 short drags, pause, 2 slow ones. Like something testing the wood.
Lena's closet door opened every night, just a crack. She started closing it tightly before bed. One night, she even pushed a chair against it. At 2:03 a.m., she heard the slow scrape of wood. The chair dragged across the floor. The door creaked open. She stared at the dark gap from her bed. "I can see you," she whispered, trying to sound brave. Silence. Then, from inside the closet, "No, you can't." Something shifted in the darkness. Taller than the doorframe, the hanging clothes began to sway. A long, pale hand wrapped around the edge of the door. It bent outward, slowly, as if something inside was unfolding itself. Lena pulled the blanket over her head. In the morning, the chair was still pressed against the closet. The door was closed, but her bedroom door was open, and muddy footprints led from her bed into the closet. Derek hated driving at night. Too quiet. Too empty. Tonight, the highway stretched for miles without another car in sight. His radio crackled with static. Then a voice cut in. "Check your back seat." He frowned. The station changed by itself. "Check your back seat."
Cold dread filled his chest.
Slowly, he glanced in the rearview mirror. Nothing. Just darkness. Relieved, he looked back at the road and slammed the brakes. Someone was standing in the middle of the highway. A tall figure, head tilted. He swerved. The car spun. When it finally stopped, everything was silent. Shaking, Derek looked in the rearview mirror again. This time, someone was sitting in the back seat, smiling. "You should have checked twice." Mia downloaded the app at 1:17 a.m. It was called Last Seen. The description read, "See who's watching you." She laughed and opened it. The camera turned on automatically. It showed her sitting on her bed. Behind her was her bedroom door. The app froze. Then text appeared. "Live view, one watcher." Mia turned around. Her room was empty. She looked back at her phone. The camera angle had changed. Now it showed her from the corner of the ceiling. Looking down, her breath caught. Another notification popped up. 2 watchers. On the screen, something moved behind her. A dark shape rising slowly from under the bed. Mia spun around. Nothing there.
Her phone buzzed again.
3 watchers. The camera zoomed in on her face. Behind her, a smile. Not hers. This happened when I was 12. I still don't talk about it much. My parents were out late, so it was just me and my little brother. Around 10:40 p.m., someone knocked on the front door. 3 slow knocks. We weren't expecting anyone. I looked through the peephole. No one there. I figured it was kids messing around. Then my brother said, "Why is there a man in the backyard?" We didn't have a fence. I ran to the kitchen window. Nothing. Just darkness. Then the back door handle started turning. Slowly. I locked it and grabbed my phone. My hands were shaking so badly, I almost dropped it. I called 911. While I was whispering to the operator, I heard something that made my stomach drop. 3 slow knocks. From inside the house. Upstairs. The dispatcher told me officers were on the way. We hid in the pantry until they arrived. Police searched the entire house. No one was found. All the doors and windows were locked from the inside. But upstairs, on the hallway wall, there were 3 fresh scratches. Long, deep, right beside my bedroom door.